Welcome to Wrestling Over Everything, everybody. We are a very funny wrestling podcast out of the Central Valley of California. I'm Andrew. That's Dusty.
Hey.
Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell. All that stuff. Follow us on your favorite podcast app if you like just listening to the audio. We have video on Spotify, too. So if you prefer Spotify over YouTube, go ahead and hit that up. And then we're on, we're on TikTok. We're Ticking and Talking. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Probably less so on Twitter than anything, but like we're there. So follow us. That's a ringing endorsement. I gotta get better.
Hell yeah.
So we have something that we're getting to. This is one of our deeper dive situations. But Dusty,
yeah,
I heard these were good, and I want to try them live on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
For anybody who's not watching the video portion of this,
this is worth watching the video in and of itself.
Yeah, because you're going to watch me slowly deteriorate through. I'm not going to be, just so everybody knows, I will not be munching on Cool Ranch Flamin' Hot Doritos the entire podcast. I'm going to try them now. I'm going to tell you how they are, and then I'm going to put them away. Okay?
Yeah.
Smell test. They smell, Dusty, like Flamin' Hot Cool Ranch Doritos.
Now, what's your relationship to standard Cool Ranch Dorito?
I think they're like maybe the greatest chip ever made. They're one of them, at least. I think it's like a top. I think it's like, I would say Cool Ranch Doritos are a top 3 chip of all time. We did our chip draft, and you and I agreed. Do you remember what we agreed on?
Sour cream and cheddar Ruffles.
Sour cream and cheddar Ruffles were the greatest chip of all
time. The goat.
Yeah.
But I hope the guy who invented the Cool Ranch Dorito technology has an island that he lives on. That guy deserves it.
The Cool Ranch guy and the Flamin' Hot guy. Like, I hope they have like houses right next to each other on Nantucket Island, and they just like wave at each other in the morning. They're like, "Can you believe it?" And the guy's like, "I mean, neither, dude.
I'm only in America, baby.
Only in America." They do an air high five from 100 yards away.
And this guy has a direct line to Dorito, and he woke up in a cold sweat and was like, "What if it's hot cool?"
Yeah. Hey, one of these days, man, we gotta put our two shits together.
We gotta get a collab going. Yeah. Where it'll be hot. And they're like, Mitch, I feel like you son of a bitch, you did it again.
Both of these companies, I feel like probably had this in their back pocket. Yankees just tied the game, by the way. Aaron Judge, homer left field. Get judged, bitch.
Fuck.
Everybody, Dusty's a Blue Jays fan. I'm a Yankees fan, so
yeah.
It just popped up on my phone. Get judged. He's getting judged by. But I feel like these two companies had this collab in their back pocket. Like, whenever we're out of ideas for a little bit, we'll just put some Flamin' Hots on this shits.
They've had it in the lab for sure. So
all right, so I got to try this out. I feel like that's a decent one. No corner. We're missing a corner, but
you've got good coverage. You got.
Ooh, that is interesting.
You historically not a spiceman. So.
No, but I make an exception for Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Okay.
God damn it, I love Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
They're really, I mean, we're talking about the best of the best on the chips here.
All right. I'm going to eat one more, which is a good sign, I guess. My assessment is that they're not as good as Flamin' Hot Cheetos, nor Cool Ranch Doritos.
Okay.
They taste like slightly not as flavorful. Like something's going on with the Cool Ranch Dorito, and they're spicy. So they're pretty good. I'd say they're like a 7.
Yeah, for some reason, because the Cool Ranch Dorito, even though it has Cool Ranch in the name, it's got a little bit of spiciness. Whatever that concoction of flavors is, it's not hot, but it has a spice to it.
I was gonna say that's the widest thing you've ever said in your life.
No, not hot, not hot spice, flavorful spice. You son of a bitch.
Okay,
Flavor spice. the forgotten Spice Girl.
Yeah.
So
Flavor
then,
of spice.
if you put hot on top of the unique flavor combination that is Cool Ranch Dorito, I don't know that it necessarily enhances
It doesn't need
the
it. It
that
doesn't need it.
flavor
I'll
profile.
continue eating because a lot of times with chips, you got to get, you know, a good chunk into the bag to really understand the flavors that are hitting your tongue, you know?
Right, yeah.
I have yet to identify the actual Flamin' Hot flavor, which disappoints me.
That's
But it might just muddy it. I watched some guys try these the other day. They said they were really good. They said that the two flavors really complemented each other well. I don't really get it yet. So,
yeah,
and now my stomach hurts.
you gotta unlock it. You know what I had the other day, real quick? Salsa Verde Dorito, which I enjoyed.
Oh, those
quite
are
a bit.
good.
Yeah,
Those are good.
I'll
Yeah,
eat
that's an
20
unsung.
I'll eat 20,000 of those, dude.
So salsa verde Dorito. I mean Doritos. I like a lot. You know what else I really like that not a lot of people talk about? Garden salsa sun chips.
Yeah, they are. They're third. They're third in my ranking. No, they might be second. I might get them over the Harvest Cheddar, but I think
Oh, so
French
you're talking
onion
about
is.
there's. Oh, I don't know if I've had French onion. I probably have.
It goes French onion, garden salsa, Harvest Cheddar, original. I'm sure we're reversed on this because
Okay.
you love original flavor chips. Get that shit out of my face.
I don't know. I don't know if I would go that far on sun chips. I think
I'm just
garden salsa is my
tasting
favorite sun chip.
I'm just tasting multigrains. No
Yeah, that's
thanks.
the problem. It's like the original. Anyway, we got to get to this wrestling
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
or
yeah.
people are gonna turn this shit off. Like I said, Flamin' Hot Doritos, Flamin' Hot Cool Ranch Doritos. Too long of a name. Better than mid for sure. I'd say they're like 7.5.
Okay.
But if you like either of those, they're probably better by themselves. But I would suggest anybody out there who likes both those things, give them a shot. I'm not the arbiter,
Right.
you know.
Well, and you might come back around next week. And say
I might show up next week and say it's the greatest chip ever created.
Yeah.
It's an acquired taste, got to grow on you. You got to really educated tongue this shit. So
yeah, you got to be a chip sommelier, you know.
Yeah, this is I'm trying to think of a pun, but there's not one there. This is one of our deep dive podcasts. We basically every other episode we dive into like an old feud or an old wrestler or an old career, a program, something like that. We've got some really cool ones coming down the pipe, but I was excited for this one. Dusty came up with us doing Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, maybe the most the overused word, iconic wrestling feud of all time. Like at least one of them. The Rock versus McMahon is probably the most iconic, I guess. I mean, Stone Cold versus McMahon is probably the most iconic.
Yeah, I think if Austin versus McMahon is what catapulted them in the 90s, you could make a very strong argument that Hogan versus Andre is what catapults them in the 80s. Like,
yeah.
Okay. And we could get into the various differences and reasons why all of that is, but it's like the perfect use of both of these guys, in my estimation. Like I was watching this and I was watching the setup to all this, and I was like, man, this is still incredible stuff. Like the way that they were able to put this together, I really enjoyed. There are some downsides. We'll talk about that, I think. But yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a bigger, more important feud than Hogan versus Andre for the 80s.
And honestly, like I don't know if this is how it went down, but I just saw the replay of the Aaron Judge home run. Huge. It just a bonk. It hadn't landed yet. It's probably going to bonk you on the head in Fresno
Beautiful.
right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is how it went down, but I feel like this is how it felt this way watching it. It felt like this was their Cool Ranch Flamin' Hot combo where they just knew eventually like that's what they were going to do. They had to put those two guys together. And it was like a perfect, like if they wanted Hulk Hogan to be the biggest goddamn wrestling star who ever lived, making the biggest man anybody's ever seen be a giant dick and giving him Bobby Heenan
Yeah.
is gonna be a pretty good, especially with Hogan like playing up the "oh man, we were brothers, brother" like stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like they were like, okay, eventually we're gonna get to Hogan versus Andre, and this whole shit's gonna be over. Like, and even
Well,
probably the territory guys were like, we're fucked.
and they have the special sauce. They have everything. They have Hogan in his prime. They've got the legend of Andre. They've got Pat Patterson at the top of his powers. They've got Vince. While Vince is still evil, he's not crazy yet. But like, it's all working together.
And listen, we can't deny that Vince, like, we can. I don't care if you caveat it every time. He deserves it. We can be like, hey, by the way, he also shit on a woman's head and like kind of sex trafficked eventually.
Yes.
But he did put together this type of stuff. He put together these spectacles. He knew what he was doing in that respect. And there was some booking stuff that we hated down the road, but there's a lot that we watch that wouldn't have happened without Vince McMahon.
Yes,
for sure.
And I mean, you could caveat Hulk Hogan a ton, and I will.
Yeah, I know we don't like that guy either.
He's the worst. But you can't have a wrestling podcast. You can't have a wrestling podcast or talk about the history of pro wrestling without, at the very least, the third biggest star in wrestling history. Probably, I don't entertain much beyond.
What are you thinking?
Third.
Flair and
no, not even Flair. Flair's
Stone Cold.
Maybe The Rock.
And
maybe
The
Rock.
The Rock and Stone Cold are the two that are like the maybes. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm saying Austin is number one in every measurement. Austin's first. Rock, you could make a convincing argument for second, but you could also, Hogan deserves to be right there.
I mean, is The Rock the highest earning movie star of all time?
At least he did. He did. No, it's Samuel L. Jackson, because he's in all the franchises. But he's certainly
Jesus Christ. But it's got to be leading man, though. You know what I mean? Because
sure.
Samuel L. is like he's awesome, but he's like a supporting actor in a lot of these movies. You know what I mean?
And then third is Hogan, probably, and then maybe Cena. Like, I don't even know that Flair's maybe top 5, but Cena has had a longer earning career than Flair has. People will hate to hear that, but I mean, it's just a perfect storm of stuff coming together, which we could talk about. A little bit of Hulk Hogan backstory. Don't come at me with things I missed. I'm trying to get us as fast as I can. The old screenplay rule: you start the movie as late as you can to tell the story you're trying to tell. So, Hulk Hogan begins wrestling in 1977. He wrestles as Terry Boulder, bad name. Sterling Golden.
Terry Boulder is a bad name. Terry Boulder is kind of a funny name, though.
Yeah, Sterling Golden.
That's a nice boulder.
Sterling Golden, kind of a good name. I like Sterling Golden.
I kind of like Sterling Golden. Golden is a weird last name. Sterling Gold.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know how I feel about Golden as a last name.
So he becomes a Hulk Hogan, or he becomes the Terry the Hulk Boulder, because he was sitting behind Lou Ferrigno, who was the Incredible Hulk, on a local talk show in Memphis when he was breaking into wrestling, and people were like, "This dude's bigger than Lou Ferrigno. This guy should be the Hulk." So
this is a big fucker.
Yeah, I believe it's certified big fucker. So in the fall of '79, he starts working for the WWF for Vince Sr. And Vince Sr. changed his name to Hulk Hogan because he wanted to have an Irish heel in New York, which is very funny to me. You know what they'll hate? An Irish guy. Blonde, kind of balding, giant Irishman.
Get out there. You know what we'll do? We'll tell him you're a Mick.
Instead of boots, you'll wear potatoes to the ring.
Yeah. Hidey-di-di-di-di-di. We'll hidey-di our ass all the way to the bank, you brother.
Yeah.
Pal.
And he's a pretty successful heel in the WWF during that time. He has Classy Freddie Blassie as his manager, and he feuds with Andre at this point, including a really important, very famous cage match not a cage match, just a match with Andre the Giant in Shea Stadium in 1980. So keep that in mind.
Is
But
that
then
did he body slam him during that match?
he body slammed him during that feud in 1980.
Okay.
But then he leaves because he wants to do Rocky 3, and Vince Sr. is like, no, you can't do Rocky 3. You have to either be a wrestler or you can be an actor. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to take off. And he does some acting, and then he joins the AWA, which is Vern Gagne's territory. And he's a huge babyface there. And they just keep fucking around and not putting the world title on him. Like, he's almost the champ. They keep doing dusty type finishes, DQs, all this shit. They never put the belt on him. And then Vince Jr. buys the WWF, and he's like, Bob Backlund is boring. He's the WWF champion, but he doesn't stink, but he's fucking white bread, you know? So
Yeah.
he calls Hogan, and he's like, I want to do
Bob
this.
Backlund looks like an angry Mickey Rooney.
Yeah. He's just
He looks like a lot like Mickey Rooney.
He's like Opie from Andy Griffith's show, you know?
Yeah.
He's a fine wrestler, but he's not the guy. So Vince Jr. calls Hogan and is like, I want to do national expansion. I want to be the biggest the biggest company in the world. I want you to be the star. And so Hogan fucks off from the AWA right when they're going to put the belt on him. So they never get the resolution of Hogan winning the AWA title. He goes to the WWF, immediately wins the world title. They took the belt off of Backlund with the Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik wins the world title from Backlund, ending Backlund's 5-year reign as WWF champion. And then, like a month later, Hogan comes in, beats the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden, wins the world title. So we're going to kind of stop there for now and then talk about Andre. So, Andre the Giant, have you heard of him? Certified big fucker.
Big fucker. Big French guy.
Huge Frenchman.
God, and by the way, dude, I thought he spoke better English than this.
Oh, no.
I can't understand a goddamn word he says.
He's garbled for sure.
It's like, how long were you here, dog? those big French jowls really struggle with the English language.
Andre Romanoff is
Roussimoff, right?
Or Roussimoff, yes, is Andre the Giant's name. He begins wrestling in 1966 because what else are you going to do when you're a giant and you live in France? He permanently relocates to North America in 1971, and then from the mid 70s to the mid 80s, he's the WWF, their biggest star. Vince Sr. can pay Andre the most money, so he's most loyal to that territory. But Vince Sr. rents him out to other territories. He works all around, but he's a babyface. He's just a giant, lovable babyface in the U.S. In Japan, when he toured over there, he was a heel.
Well, that makes sense. They probably put a big fucking reptile tail on him.
He's just.
So do you think they made him a babyface in America because they wanted to cheer him here? Because it seems like instinct would lead you to declaring that guy a heel.
I think
he's French,
right?
He's huge,
yeah.
And he can't, and he's French,
Yeah, I think that it had to do with because he's such a special attraction, nobody's gonna boo Andre the Giant when he comes to
exactly.
their town,
They're excited to see him and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if that's probably why they did it. Plus, I mean, by all accounts, right? Pretty likable dude, right? People like him.
A lot of people liked him. He could be a jerk. It turns out life pretty difficult for Andre the Giant, so he could be a cranky guy. Things are a bummer. But he's
fucking huge.
So
he's a big giant guy.
Yeah, he ends up in the early 80s he breaks his ankle getting out of bed one morning. So they work it into a storyline where a guy named Killer Khan breaks his ankle in a match. And so they're able to use it for a storyline. They stretch him out, all that sort of stuff. But after that, he starts to put on a lot of weight, and he's not as mobile. Because if you watch young Andre, certainly he was never the most athletic guy, but like he wore trunks and he could move around, and he was agile for being as gigantic as he was.
That's one thing I wanted to. I want to see mobile Andre matches, because we've watched a lot of like, and I don't know how much footage there is from like back then, but like I want to see when Andre could throw a drop kick, because couldn't he throw a drop kick at one point?
Yeah, he could do a drop kick. I used to have a tape where he did like a Vader bomb kind of move off the second rope. And then later on in the same show, they were like, they went under the ring and the ring post was bent from Andre jumping off of it, But that's
France
like
isn't in the same place anymore.
I believe that they're saying that part of California fell into the ocean. But Andre's.
I'm trying to find a picture of young Andre the Giant, and I want you to see this, Dusty. Why did they Photoshop a picture of him and David Berkowitz together?
Because the internet is wild.
Yeah, I was looking at pictures of his daughter, because he's got a daughter.
It might be like, look at how small the son of Sam was, and look at how giant Andre the Giant is.
Or maybe they fucking met each other.
There's an old famous picture of him holding like 10 women up on his arms.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, which is cool. So Andre and Hogan are friends in the WWF. They tag team together. They even do a little storyline where like Andre gets he gets suspended but from the Heenan family, like complaining. So they used to do this gimmick called the Machines, where it was these guys in masks would come out, but it was very clearly the famous wrestler, and it'd be like Giant Machine, Hulk Machine, Piper Machine, but the guys were under masks. And so the heels would always be like, that's Andre the Giant. And they'd be like, you got to prove it, dude. How do we know? His name's Giant Machine. He looks exactly like Andre the Giant.
What, they would like come out and beat up the heels and leave or something? Like
No, they'd have matches, full on matches, but they'd just be under masks. So, the 80s. That's how it goes.
Wrestling. Well, I love, I'm on board with the, and they had, what's his name at one point? The manager, the crazy manager guy.
Oh, Captain Lou Albano, yeah.
Lou Albano. I love that's very clearly somebody in a mask gimmick. It's a tried and true gimmick. I usually love it. Blue Blazer stunk, in my opinion, just because it was robbing us of Owen Hart, and it killed him, but I don't know if you know this, but I do, when you're not fully absolutely wasting a wrestler, then it's a good gimmick. By the way, Blue Jays just took the lead.
Okay, I like that.
10-9.
So then Andre takes a break to go film The Princess Bride, and he's essentially like, I'm pretty much done with wrestling. He has spinal stenosis, which stinks. If you're 7, it stinks anyway. But if you're 7 feet tall, I can see it being particularly terrible.
I've heard that's not a fun one.
Vince goes to visit him and is like, hey, I've got this idea. You turn heel and we put you and Hogan together, and I'll pay for your back surgery, and we'll run with it. And this will be,
but after I'll do it after.
yeah, only after. So Andre comes back, and this is kind of where we pick up where we're at. The first thing that we watched, just as sort of a primer, is the backstage celebration from Hulk Hogan when he wins the WWF title, because Andre is in that video pouring champagne onto Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan, I'm going to try to guess the amount. I'm going to say we're at 30% cocaine. 30% cocaine. Hogan.
He is on one. He says, something mean, Gene, I think 6 times in like 30 seconds during this. He says that he did it in front of 25 or 30,000 people. The capacity of the goddamn building was 18.5 at the time. He's got his parents in there. His mom's adorable. I like Hulk mom. She's probably gone. God rest her soul, but I like Hulk mom.
His dad is, you can tell where Hulk Hogan gets his charisma. His dad's a charisma machine backstage.
I wrote that same exact fucking thing down.
Yeah.
That like his dad is a zero. Oh, Hulk could tell his dad was killing boners because his dad like Hulk talks and then his mom talks and she's like, he just worked so hard. I love him. He deserves this and all this stuff. And his dad's like, yeah, my son apparently is some kind of wrestler. Like he couldn't be less exciting. So the Hulkster just starts screaming. Like he knows that his dad is making people change the channel. So he just takes over.
Yeah. And he goes, this is everybody's belt. This is Pete's belt. And this is Ruth's belt. And I just thought of that scene from
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, the belt's in John's house.
Your money's at Dan's house, in John's house. I love The Simpsons parodied that, and they were like, "Your money's at somebody's house," and Moe's like, "Where's my money, John?" and punches him in the face, and they all start. It's great. But yeah, his dad when Hulk started talking, because Hulk is like, he has his arm around his mom. I mean, the dad has his mom. It's from left to right. If you're looking at the screen, it's Mean Gene, Hulk's dad, Hulk's mom, Hulk Hogan, and Hulk's dad has his arm around Hulk's mom, and Hulk's dad talks and is an absolute zilch, and Hulk steps in and starts leaning in to talk, and as he's doing that, his dad is like wincing, like his dad wants off of the camera so bad.
Well, he's probably like, Ruth and I are small people. I don't know where this gigantic man came from.
That would have been funny. He's like, I don't have much to say because that ain't my son. Like, there's no fucking way that my son.
They look like they're from a Woody Allen movie. And goddamn Hulk Hogan is like, what does he say? Hulkamania's running wild and it turns me on, brother. And
it turns me on. Yeah.
So then we jump to Piper's Pit, January 17th, 87. I kind of want to run through all of this together and then we could talk about it. They give Hogan a trophy for being the champion for 3 years. WWF President Jack Tunney comes out and he says, you're one of the most patriotic citizens, which I'm not really sure why you get a trophy for that.
One of America's most patriotic citizens. I wrote that one down too.
And then Andre comes out and he goes, 3 years as a champion. It's a long time. And then he gives Hogan like a hard handshake, and Hogan kind of gives him a look. And then Andre shows up to this house show where Hogan's in the ring celebrating. Andre walks in behind him. Everybody's going, Hogan doesn't notice Andre's there. How'd you not know? How could you not notice Andre the Giant?
There's a couple times that Andre sneaks up on Hogan during this. I'm like, how does Andre the Giant sneak up on you? Everybody's glasses of water in a 5-mile radius has waves on it. Like there's a fucking T-Rex walking through the building.
He's got those shoes ninjas wear to make him light.
Okay, yeah, those weird. They don't have any tread, but they make you light.
Yeah. So then the next week, they give Andre a trophy for being undefeated for 15 years. By the way, that is not true. It's very provably false, but it's noticeably smaller than the trophy that Hulk Hogan got. And then Andre's getting ready to talk, and Hogan comes blowing in, talking about how great it is and how awesome Andre is and how he wants to be like Andre the Giant. And he's like, he's a great role model. He has a great sense of fair play. He's nice to kids. And so then
Hogan loves putting Andre over.
Yeah, and then Andre just kind of walks off the set while Hogan's in the middle of putting him over, and he's like, that's a modest man. That's a mountain of modesty right there.
He's like, this is well-deserved, brother. The greatest athlete who ever lived, brother. It's like, okay. He's maybe the biggest athlete who ever lived, but... At that time, we had, there's a lot of people have been around.
Jesse Owens also alive,
Yeah.
or had been alive at that point.
We had Jim Thorpe, Mickey
Yeah.
Mantle. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys.
So then the next week, which isn't a clip that we watched, but I watched it just to fill you in, Jesse Ventura comes in to stir the shit on Piper's Pit, and he's like, I don't know what's going on, man. Hulk Hogan's kind of disrespected Andre the Giant. He
came in here and he said all those nice things about Andre the Giant, and for some reason I take those as very disrespectful for the storyline. I'm being paid to say that they are very disrespectful.
I was trying to start a union, and Hulk Hogan, what's that? Don't talk about that? Okay.
Anyway, you don't, they always say is you don't compliment a frog man.
Either
or a French man.
Yeah, either a French frog man or an American frog man. We both served, brother. And so... And Rowdy Piper gets all fired up, like defending Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's great. He's the best. And he like takes his shirt off in the middle of his defense of Hulk Hogan. So
Piper was a psychopath.
Yeah. So the next week, Andre comes out to confront Hogan, and now Andre has Bobby Heenan with him. And Hogan's doing the like, say it isn't so, brother. Well, do you know what Bobby Heenan's done to me? Like you and me, we're brothers, man. And Heenan is like so flustered. It's one of the few times I've ever seen Bobby Heenan get flustered. He's like, you don't know what you did to this man. I can't even tell you the stuff that you did to this man.
I'm so flabbergasted. Yeah, that clip is where I realized what Hulk Hogan's acting style is. It is children's show host.
Oh,
he is trying to act as surprised as his dumbass viewers are supposed to act. So he's like, Andre, what are you doing with him?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what the Blues Clues guy would do if the dog showed up with like Saddam Hussein. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I've always loved you, Andre.
I thought that you were a fiscal conservative, Blue.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same as it's not hot.
Yeah,
There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
It's all the same. So Andre is like, I've only got one thing to say to you. I challenge you to a title match at WrestleMania. And then he grabs, and like one of the most iconic things in wrestling history, he goes to grab Hogan's shirt to rip it off. And he accidentally rips off Hogan's cross necklace and also scratches him with his gnarly French nails that he has.
Yeah. Those French nails are gross. He had to go get a rabies shot after that.
So
a bunch of escargot in his nails and shit.
He's been drinking wine all day. He's just got and Andre leaves. And Hogan,
so weird, dude.
Yeah,
it's so weird. It's like, what are you gonna do about this? And he fucking just rips his shirt.
He kind of talks like a fish man. Like if a fish, like every version of like a guy who's a fish who can talk. Listen to
oh man, Hulk Hogan.
Or he's just had massive dental surgery.
Hulk's like, dude, and listen, this whole fucking thing, Andre the Giant can't move. We have to acknowledge this, and you have to watch this whole thing in your brain with the context that this is one of the biggest wrestling programs of all time, and one of these two men can't talk or move.
Yeah, it's all vibes from Andre.
It's Hulk Hogan versus Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. But Jabba's scary. Andre's scary.
As soon as Hulk's like, "Oh man, I loved you, Andre," and Andre's like, "Wate bitu wata."
So freeze him. He was gonna freeze Hogan in carbonite. So while Hogan's looking to Piper for answers, he's like, what is this? What's happening? And Piper just goes, "You're bleeding."
Yeah,
and
he just keeps saying it too. He's like,
yeah,
you're bleeding Hulk. You're bleeding
and that's
Hulkster.
like, and Hogan shook up, and that's awesome. So I know we talked about it, but I wanted this whatever month of segments is incredible. This is like perfect wrestling storytelling. The entirety of this feud is based on the fact that Hulk Hogan got a bigger trophy than Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
and Andre, even though he's a giant, he has feelings, man. You can hurt the giant's feelings, and when you do, he's got big feelings. He's a big guy, big
He
feelings.
looks he looks like quite a big of a bitch in a lot of this.
Whenever Bobby Heenan is confronting Hulk Hogan in that Piper's Pit program, he goes, "It was a littler trophy."
Yeah, he's yelling about the whole thing. He's like, "You never once gave him a title match," and it's like, "Yeah, I didn't want to fucking fight my friend."
Yeah, he's like, all he had to do was ask. I would have given him one. And Andre is like, it's a smaller trophy. I take
like,
I take that as disrespect.
Hulk Hogan obviously like worships the ground that Andre the Giant walks on. And at one point he was like, "I worshipped you like a friend." It's like, you worship your friends?
But so I just love it because there's also a look on Andre's face when they give him the smaller trophy where he's like, "Am I a joke to you? I'm Andre the goddamn giant."
To be fair, that's the same look on his face the entire time.
Sure.
Like he's doing no acting. Andre is mailing all of this in. He walks in, he rips the shirt, and then he walks away.
He's stoic, Andrew. You're mistaking indifference for stoicism.
Dusty, he can't move. Here's him ripping the shirt, by the way. Give me that fucking shirt. Give me that shirt. You want your shirt? I'm gonna take away. He sounds like Zoidberg.
who also kind of sounds like he's underwater. So it works.
Yeah, that is true. He's supposed to. Yeah.
So the next Piper's Pit, Piper, in case you haven't been watching, he gives you a whole primer, like I did. Where he's like, things are crazy. It's 1987. 4 weeks ago, we gave a trophy to Hogan. Then Andre doesn't like his trophy. Then Jesse Ventura's out here, and he calls Hogan out, and he's like, "Will you or won't you fight Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3?" Because they do like a kind of back and forth, and then I don't know if they were getting the wrap it up light or whatever, but out of nowhere, Piper's like, "So do you accept the challenge of this match or not?"
Yeah, because Hulk did go a little long-winded.
Yeah,
I just wrote down Hulk scorned.
A Hulk scorned is a difficult.
Nothing more dangerous than a Hulk scorned.
So, and Hogan still got the shirt and the cross with him. He's got his ripped shirt and his cross, like he's been holding it for a week.
Exactly, just staring at it with a blank stare.
Just really thinking about it.
I can't believe he broke my cross, man.
Do you want to do the line reading for Hulk Hogan's response to Rowdy Piper?
Does he say? I can't remember verbatim. Is it "I will"?
No, he just goes, "Yes!"
That's what he does. Yes! I just remember he screamed it.
And the crowd is like, "Fuck yeah!"
Dude, the crowd was lit. So did they do Piper's Pit like during a taping, or did they do it separately?
No,
because
they did
a pretty big crowd there.
They do it during a taping. They just do a dressing of like in the like to the side of the stage, I think.
Man, goddamn. So there's probably half the crowd just sees the back of the fucking set.
Yeah, they're because they didn't do it in the ring. Eventually, they would move them to the ring so then everybody could see it. But this is
I like the set. I like how it is. I like that it looks like a TV show. Yes.
Yes. So, just to make sure that you know, like you said, he's playing to the kids. There can be no ambiguity for Hulk Hogan. He must let you know. And so,
and listen, like this is very 80s wrestling. It's super overacting and campy. He, like I said, he is very much a children's. He knows what he's doing. He's selling toys to kids.
Yeah. Then they go to the contract signing, which I had never seen before. I found this clip on YouTube, but it's pretty cool. Like they have all the officials. Jack Tunney's there Mean Gene Okerlund's there. Heenan and Andre and Hogan are all there. And they call Andre by his real last name. I don't know if you caught that when he was going to sign it.
That's how I realized what his last name was. I was like,
And then
his name is Rusimov? God damn.
Yeah. And then Heenan's like, before we do the contract signing, I got some stuff to iron out. And he's like telling Tunney, he's like, I want a new belt because whoever this human being is, this belt is for him. But I want a belt for a man, a real man. Andre the Giant, fucking undefeated for 15 years, dog. And Hogan flips his lid and just goes, sign it if you're going to sign it.
Yeah, because he was just Hogan was just staring straight like he fucking wanted to bite his jugular vein off the whole time, and he's like, he tore the heart and soul out of all the little Hulksters, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He said whenever he ripped off the cross, he ripped out the heart of Hulkamania. So,
hell yeah, dude.
This really is a Hulk scorned. That's and
that's
then,
an effigy to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, brother.
I wear it in remembrance.
So 3 days, brother. 3 days he was on that cross. You big French son of a bitch. I'm sorry for cursing.
I don't want that to be the example I set to the Hulkamaniacs. So
scorned.
So then Andre is like, you think that I told you all the secrets that I know?
He's like,
yeah. and Hogan goes, speak English to me.
Because I couldn't tell if he started speaking, because he started off speaking English. You are right. But I think he transitioned to French at some point, didn't he?
He did transition to French, and then he went back to English. This was just like it was. I mean, it's obviously cartoonish, but they're treating it like a big fight, and they're treating it as like a real sport. There's a contract,
and I'm cool with that.
I like that.
Spectacle stuff.
So before WrestleMania, there was a battle royal on Saturday night's main event that both of these guys were in that I didn't put on the playlist for you to watch, but it did have the moment where Andre eliminates Hulk Hogan in this match as sort of a setup to like, oh, Andre is strong enough to beat Hogan. And then he also headbutted Lanny Poffo, who's the brother of Macho Man. And
you can't headbutt the genius. That's all he's got.
No, and he bladed, so he's like bleeding everywhere on the ground. It was awesome. It looked awesome. It was like Andre's a monster and a killer in this thing. And then Andre got eliminated. I was watching it. I'd never seen this match before, and I was like, obviously Andre's going to win this to build up to WrestleMania. He's been undefeated for 15 years. He's the king of the Battle Royal. No, he gets thrown out. What the fuck? What are you doing?
Who won the Battle Royal?
Hercules, the mighty Hercules.
Oh, yeah, dude, you gotta put Hercules over.
Why not Hercules?
Was it a one of those classic 6 guys throw Andre over the top?
Yeah, it was like it took 8 guys to get rid of him. But I'm like, well, if you're selling that he's never been beaten, wouldn't you want him to win this Battle Royal right before WrestleMania? But
well, and eventually they have like a scenario where the entire backstage roster can't stop Andre the Giant. So.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know.
I just want some goddamn consistency.
Yeah. Think ahead, you motherfucker.
Man.
There's a promo the week before WrestleMania where Hogan is talking to Mean Gene. He calls Andre a freak of nature. And I want him to be like, whoa, dude. I know you guys are mad at each other, but this guy used to be your friend. Isn't that over the line?
You are unlovable. You're too big and ugly. I hope your big fucking cow heart explodes soon, okay?
You drink. You have spinal stenosis. You're a real son of a bitch to be around.
Where's your daughter?
Yeah.
I heard you got a daughter, Andre.
Nobody likes you. I went back to France. They said you stink. Like, way over the line. He also, again, like, he keeps going back to the Andre's heel turn is disappointing the children. It's like, he's like, why, what do you think? You think, Mean Gene, if you had kids, you'd want Andre to be the example? You can just lie and cheat and steal and get whatever you want. And, we got to do it for the children. We got to be shining examples for the children. Hold on. I got to do 2 more lines of Coke to get through this interview segment.
And say 3 N-words and eat some bad gas station sushi and cheat
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
wife.
That's future Hulk. This is now Hulk.
With my best friend's wife, by the way.
Yeah, he said I could. It's cool, bro. So, we get to WrestleMania 3. Now, there was originally a backup plan. If Andre couldn't go, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff was supposed to be. They had bantied around his name as a possible main event with Hogan because he and Hogan drew a ton of money in 1986. Like they did a big event in Canada where they had the outdoor record for years and years and years, and so that was being bantied about. And then they were like, "But what about Andre? Let's do Andre instead. We have to top the 3 cities of WrestleMania 2. How do we beat that? Not with Paul Orndorff, you know." So the tagline for WrestleMania 3: bigger, better, badder.
Hell yeah, dude. The 3 Bs.
The 3 Bs. I don't mind telling you, this match stinks. They did it. They fucking got you in the building. The lead up to this storyline is incredible. The only thing this match needs is the stare off between Andre and Hogan at the beginning. That's all the crowd needed. There is no wrestling match here because Andre can't move at all.
He can't move. He can't move at all. Like if they did like a foot tracker for this match, it would be you could just watch the foot tracker and go, oh, that match stinks on ice. It's really bad. Most of these matches are just Hulk running into the ropes and then coming and just clanging his body into Andre, who stumbles a little bit, and then he does it again.
The pedometer for Andre is bad in this match. He's getting no steps.
No, he never hits his step counter.
No.
He never hits his step
counter. But they again accomplished the goal. You get Andre comes out in the little motorized ring. They had a little motorized ring carts, which I love. And Hogan's the only guy all night who doesn't use a ring cart, which I also love. He's the champ. He's the immortal Hulk Hogan.
He's the people's person.
Yeah.
He's got to walk through with his people. And they're throwing so much shit at Andre and Heenan.
Yep. The Irresistible Force versus the Immovable Object. That's what they're selling it as. And the 2 big things in this match, really. Hogan goes to body slam Andre at the beginning. Andre falls on top of him, and there's like almost a 3 count. And Jesse Ventura thinks the match is over. They continue the match, but that'll be important later. And then Andre controls, but he controls with like slam to the back. He does 1 body slam. Then he's just choking Hogan a bunch. And it's, like you said, it's Hogan running his body into Andre, essentially, for the duration of this match. And then, of course...
Hogan is all the movement in these matches. Like he is the one that starts every engage. Like because Andre can't walk.
Yeah,
and it gets way worse in his career. By the way, like this isn't. I have to be holding onto the ropes the entire match, Andre. But it's like getting close.
We're getting close. Anytime he falls, he has to be by the ropes so he can help himself back up. And he is wearing a back brace, which is why he switched to the over the shoulder singlet thing. You can tell a little bit that he's wearing a back brace. He hasn't had back surgery yet. So the other big thing in this match, of course, is Hogan makes his comeback. He knocks Andre into the ropes. Andre gets up. Can Hogan body slam him? Hogan nails it. The crowd goes insane. Hogan drops the leg. That's the pinfall. The people got the exact thing that they want.
And it was it's so funny, like, because this is a wrestling moment that we've seen a million times, probably as many as we've seen any one move. I don't know if I've ever seen one move more than I've seen Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
It's such a casual entry to the body slam. It's almost like Hogan was like, all right, here we go, brother. like he just kind of walks into it and just like, he doesn't like whoo into it at all. He just kind of walks up and kind of casually flips him over and body slams him.
the crowd goes nuts. Hogan, Andre and Heenan on their way back through on the cart are hilarious because Andre's still jawing with Hogan, and Bobby Heenan has his hands and his head in his hands, and and like you said, they're pelting them with trash.
They're throwing so much trash at them. Thankfully, it was just trash. I didn't see anything like dangerous get thrown, but they're getting hit with a lot of stuff.
For 1987, the revenue was estimated at $10.3 million. And the only official higher attendance was for WrestleMania 32. Now, 93,173 people not in the Pontiac Silverdome that day.
Yeah.
Probably about 78,000, which is still a huge fucking number of people. But they wanted to beat the Pope. The Pope was coming like the next week or whatever.
They gotta beat that goddamn Pope that stuck up his ass, fucking always judging people ass Pope.
Who'd the Pope ever beat? You know, that's
but they only had for the WrestleMania we went to, WrestleMania Hollywood. Do you remember what the attendance was?
Oh, I think it was like, what was it, 38,000?
It was 67 a night.
Oh, okay.
It was. I thought we saw I thought it was like 80 or 90,000 a night, but it was 67 per night.
And now they tell the truth a lot more, so that might be closer to the real number.
A lot of stuff is like way easier to verify, you know.
Yeah.
But I would say I would not be surprised if there are 67,000 people in it's SoFi Stadium, like, and it was full. You know.
Yeah. So this match famously got -4 stars from Dave Meltzer.
God damn! In the moment.
Yeah, at the time.
He was goddamn. Okay.
He doesn't give out negative stars anymore, but back then he did. And
-4.
Look, from
a bad match,
from a purely work rate standpoint, this is a terrible match, one of the worst ever. But what's more important? You got the people in the building, people paid to see this match. That makes it a success. Like, nobody needed 5 stars from Andre and Hogan, and they couldn't have delivered 5 stars. But like, if the goal is to sell tickets and make the money, they nailed it. This is the biggest program they could do, like you said.
Yeah, nobody's gonna look at that and think that it's a failure. You know,
right?
It's one of the biggest moments in the history of wrestling.
Now, the other thing is Hulk Hogan likes to tell this story. Well, a couple of stories. Hulk Hogan, noted liar, likes to say that he didn't know what the finish to the match was going to be going into it. And I can't for a second believe that that's true. Like, he was like, I don't know if Andre was going to let me win that day. He might have changed the finish or whatever. And it's like, there's no way. Andre clearly was fucking with him because that's the thing Andre liked to do. But Andre knows he's doing the job here. There's no way that he was going to try to shoot on Hulk Hogan in that ring. He couldn't shoot on him. He could have laid on him, and maybe Hogan couldn't have kicked out. But like that, all that does.
Yeah, Hogan would have beat him up really bad if they started fighting at this point. And that's not me saying Hulk Hogan is a tough guy. That is me. I don't know if you remember. Andre can't move.
He literally
if he laid on him, if he dead bodied him on top of him, I think Hulk probably still gets up. But like any other situation, Hulk just probably beats the daylights out of him. He can't move.
Yeah, or just pushes him down. If you like, not to be cruel, but if you pushed him down, he's not going to be able to get up. And so, so I like that's of course another, Hogan likes to conflate all of these things. And then he said that he tore every single muscle in his back, body slamming Andre the Giant. But he's wrestling.
That's one of the biggest lies he's ever told.
Yeah, he's like, I felt my entire back rip. And like, bro, you were wrestling like days later. There's no way.
Yeah, he wrestled twice that day. He went straight to Japan.
He went straight to, and then he flew around the South Pole to get his time back. So after WrestleMania on the Saturday Night's Main Event in May of '87, Andre and Heenan do an interview where they talk about, we got screwed. We got the 3 count at the beginning of that match, but the fix was in. So Andre's the uncrowned champion, and we demand a rematch, essentially. But Andre has to go for back surgery. So in the summer of 1987, Andre goes for back surgery, has to do the recovery. They have to make special tools that are big enough to do the operation on Andre's back to help relieve
Is
the
that
spot.
true?
Yeah, that I read or I heard about it in Andre's biography today. So it's not a Hulk Hogan story.
Somebody like held a chisel,
Yeah.
and then another guy hit it with a giant sledgehammer, and lights went all the way up Andre's spine into his eyes, and dinged really loud.
They got the guys who built Stonehenge to move them.
Yeah.
They know the
Stonehenge.
they know the leverage points. So so Andre comes back for the inaugural Survivor Series. So at this point, there's only WrestleMania as the pay-per-view special of the year. So they announced the Survivor Series as the second one in November of 1987, and the main event is Hulk Hogan's team of Hogan, Bam Bam Bigelow, Don Morocco, Ken Patera, and Paul Orndorff versus Andre the Giant's team, which is Andre, Butch Reed, King Kong Bundy, the One Man Gang, and Ravishing Rick Rude. Pretty good team.
Goddamn.
So
One man gang, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. Before he went to Africa and found his roots.
That's pre Akeem.
That's pre Akeem the African Dream. And Andre's team wins. If I remember right, Hogan gets counted out, so he doesn't take a pinfall loss. But they give Andre's team the win again to help, keep Andre as a threat to Hogan.
Yeah.
And then on the Saturday night's main event from January 1st, 1988 is where we're at next. This angle is fucking awesome. Hogan has just beaten King Kong Bundy, and Andre is like teasing whether or not he's going to attack Hogan, and he decides to like beg off, and he's like, I'm just kidding, I'm not going to do it. And then he fucking attacks Hogan, and he's just choking the shit out of him. And all these wrestlers come in to try to stop Andre, and nobody can get it takes like 10 of them. They can't get Andre off of Hogan, and Hogan sputtering and spitting,
and a bunch of these guys are enhanced. You've got the British Bulldogs. You've got Jake the Snake. Half of the cocaine in the county is trying to lift Andre the Giant off of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, this is
and Jim Duggan runs in. Three-quarters of the cocaine in the country.
Hacksaw runs in finally and attacks Andre with the 2x4, and that gets him to let go of Hogan, but he kind of just looks at Hacksaw Jim Duggan and like, did you just hit me with a board, dude?
Oh goddamn! I can't even do the voice anymore. A 2x4.
A goddamn 2x4.
That was Mel Brooks. Did you see what happened with the 2x4? So Duggan runs in, hits Andre with the 2x4. Andre turns around. Duggan's off. He's out of the ring.
Yeah.
He will live to snort another day. But he's like yelling at Andre, and like in the fervor, he slams the 2x4 on the apron, which I don't know if you know this, Dusty, is the hardest part of the ring.
That is confirmed the hardest part of the ring.
2x4 snaps in half and flies into the second row.
Eventually he used like a rubber 2x4 or something, so maybe that was the impetus.
Dude, it's fucking, I don't know if it's like actually hit somebody in the head, but it flew at people's head and they like caught it.
That's hilarious.
I went, oh fuck.
Oh god.
God damn.
But I thought this was awesome. Again, it's all about like continuing to make Andre look like a threat to Hogan. And I thought this was a really good angle to do that, because you've got everybody trying to pull him off, and it's like he's like a like a dog who's latched onto somebody's leg.
Yeah, it is. They had, like you put it perfectly. They had to show that Andre was scary, even though everybody can tell he can't move. So like they had to go, no, this guy can actually, like, if he gets his hands on you, if he uses a little bit of his like old school cunning, he can do something every once in a while. You know, I'm trying to find the video of the freaking 2x4 hitting that way.
If he uses trickery and chicanery, which we don't want to teach the children, then he can do that.
You don't want to. You don't want to deal with a French trickster.
No,
you know?
A saboteur, as it were.
A saboteur. That's where that word comes from.
Yeah. So next we go to the main event, which was an NBC television special, not a Saturday night's main event. This was on a Friday. It was aired live from Indianapolis, Indiana. You wanted to talk briefly about the Hulk Hogan promo before this match.
Yeah, so fuck, I just found the video. I don't care if we get in trouble on this one. I'll just delete it off the video if we do, but you got to see this. Okay, so we got Andre in the ring here.
Yep.
We got Hacksaw. Here's Hacksaw, right?
Yep.
Hacksaw's got the board. Watch what happens to the board. Hacksaw gets out. Hacksaw slams the board and flies in the crowd.
Oh, no.
I'll play it one more time.
Oh,
man. Oh, see, it flew into like the second row.
Dude.
You know, fucking McMahon was like, I told him to not hit the goddamn apron. It's the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah, he was really like, he was doing the Joe Exotic before Joe. I will never financially recover from this. If that 2x4 blinded a kid, that kid owns the WWF now.
No, and then Hulk Hogan would have had to wrestle Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
That's true.
Yeah, so Hulk Hogan does a promo. Well, first,
Andre, yeah.
Andre does a promo, and none of Andre's promos are good, so we don't really have to talk about it. He can't speak or walk.
He is teamed up with the $1 Million Man. That's the one thing.
Oh yeah, so that's this one.
Yeah.
Virgil, it's the $1 Million Man, Andre and Virgil is standing there like a statue, just holding money the whole time.
Yeah. He's got a good job, dude. And I don't know that anybody ever made more money in the wrestling business for doing less things than Virgil did. Like
listen, that might be true.
He was with the $1 Million Man. He was in the NWO. Like he was in the West Texas Rednecks with Kurt Hennig. Man had a career.
Think of how much more money Virgil made than Spike Dudley.
Oh, that hurts my feelings. That's
tough, isn't it?
That's a tough one. And Virgil never got chokeslammed to the floor.
No, he never got chokeslammed to the floor. He's not the GOAT. But
he also apparently had a door knocker just to, as well.
Did he?
So, yeah, apparently.
Swing it to the knees.
Swing it to your knees.
Good for him. What a life.
Yeah.
So Hulk gives a promo, and did you catch this the first time before I sent it to you? How bizarrely Hulk leaves the screen.
Yeah,
at the end of this promo,
he would kind of do that from time to time, where he like surfed off screen.
He like fidgets for a second, like he gets like he got electrocuted, and then he slides off screen as if somebody like they had the giant hook and pulled him off screen.
Yeah, he learned that from his nights at the Showtime at the Apollo.
It looks like they have him standing on like a roller. This is our Instagram, by the way. Quick Instagram plug. But so we've got the Hulkster, we've got Mean Gene. I don't think I'm gonna play the audio, but so the Hulk he's pumped up, he's glistening, he's giving a promo with Mean Gene, and then he does the Hulk thing. He fidgets and then he swings off the top thing. It's fucking weird. So check out our Instagram so you can see what I'm talking about. But it is genuinely, legitimately one of the funniest, like my favorite Hulk Hogan moments of all time. WOE_wrestling on Instagram.
We have devolved, things have gotten worse. We're in the downhill of Andre here. Andre uses a chokehold as his primary method of attack in his matches.
And surprise, surprise, he also uses it to hold himself up.
Yes, is he holding you up?
Strong? How did I forget how to do his voice? Stand strong. There it is. Stand strong for me. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Be so strong for me. So yeah, is Andre is Andre pushing Hulk down, or is Hulk pushing Andre up? That's the real.
Who could say?
Yeah. Can God create a rock so heavy that even he himself cannot lift it? Think about that.
Can he create a burrito that is too hot for even him to eat?
Yeah. So, yeah, it stinks. But they're doing these allusions to, oh, we have referee Dave Hebner here. Dave Hebner, way better than Joey Morella. Dave Hebner's going to call it right down the middle. Andre,
we all know that.
Andre finally hits what I will generously call a double underhook suplex. That's being very generous.
Yeah.
And he pins Hogan, and Hogan's shoulder is so off the mat that it could not be mistaken for anything else. Like,
and the referee counts to 4. Like,
yeah.
it's like 1, 2, shoulder completely off the mat, and he goes 3, 4.
just a really Barry Hogan at the end there.
Yeah.
I just imagine backstage that Hogan's like, yeah, I'll get pinned, but I'm going to make sure everyone knows that my shoulder was up. Couldn't be more.
Yeah, there is nothing more obvious than how obviously my shoulder is going to be off of that mat, brother.
Yeah. But they call the win for Andre, and Vince is like, what's going on? Clearly his shoulder was up, and Ventura, like, forever to his credit, it's just like, I don't know, man, the ref counted to 3. Them's the breaks sometimes. You know?
Like, he's like, we never go by the instant replay. And he's right.
Yeah, like those cowards in the NFL.
Yeah. When I was in Nam, the Viet Cong used instant replay a lot.
I went into their tunnels and they were studying tape, McMahon. I could see it.
You don't know that they weren't.
And you don't know that I wasn't there. Who knows for sure? Ask Chris Kyle.
Oh, wait. You can't.
Never
McMahon.
mind. So Hogan is like freaking out, and Andre's in the ring. They give the belt to Andre to get that one classic shot of Andre with the title over his shoulder. This is the introduction of the Winged Eagle WWF Championship, my favorite version of the WWF Championship.
Okay.
This is the new belt that they had alluded to making at WrestleMania 3, but tough for Andre since he lost. We don't get to see it until Saturday night, until the main event here. But he's immediately like, oh, there's some deep pockets that have infiltrated our space, and I'm going to go ahead and sell my championship to the $1 Million Man.
They can have my championship.
There's no ethical pinfalls under capitalism, so I'm going to sell my championship.
We give it back to the people. They own the means of the championship.
I used to be a machine, and now I'm giving my means of production to the $1 Million Man.
Is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's a beauty right there.
That is pretty sick.
That's the Bret Hart, the Shawn Michaels, Randy Savage, all those dudes.
Little hint of blue in the middle.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Someone said the other day, I was listening to a podcast, and they were like, "Why is it called the Winged Eagle belt? All eagles have wings."
Well, I was wondering the same thing when you said it right now. I mean, it's kind of redundant, isn't it?
It's probably a good point. So after they give the belt to the $1 Million Man, or as Hulk Hogan keeps calling him in the promo, the $Millions Man. He didn't get the
multi-million.
Oh, the multi-million dollar man. Yeah. He didn't.
I know he's got more than 2 of them.
So he couldn't have bought that suit with just $1 million. That would be fiscally irresponsible.
Backstage, DiBiase is like, "Thanks for putting me over, Terry.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I like to have multi-millions. Thank you." Upside to being the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase got all of his expenses recouped to him. Like he got reimbursed from the company if he was in character to spend money so that people would believe the gimmick, which is pretty cool.
God, that is such a grift. That's so sick.
And he would only pay.
I got the lobster again.
Yeah, Vince was like, you only pay in $100 bills. Even if you have smaller bills, you never pay in less than $100. People,
That's so sick.
if you're in public,
because that's true. You can't see Ted DiBiase at Walmart, like looking with ketchup and catsup in his hand, trying to figure out which
right,
one.
yeah. Which one do I take on the? You can't see the $1 million man eating a mayonnaise sandwich. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. So while all this is going on and they're discussing the legality of selling the WWF Championship, suddenly there are 2 Dave Hebners in the ring, and Hulk Hogan's doing the kind of.
Listen, they don't look exactly alike. They look very like you could you're like, hey, I think these guys might be brothers, but it's not like which one is which, man. Like one of them's like 50 pounds heavier than the other one.
Yeah, there's Earl and Dave, and old Dave is the official referee, but Earl's the one that counted the shoulders down. So
dude, fucking Earl, bro, he's always fucking people.
Yeah, Hogan's doing the mime double take, like he's never seen 2 dudes that look the same. And then
that look vaguely similar. Like,
right.
We can't express enough how kinda these guys look like each other.
He's
he's
got
like, whoopsie daisy, what's going on?
Well, I'm topsy turvy, brother. He's got.
I've never in my goddamn seen some shit like this.
He's got face blindness, is what he's got. So. He picks Earl Hebner
There's
up.
3 DiBiases.
He thinks Andre's just a large. Seems like Ted's grown some since the last time I saw him. He picks Earl Hebner up, and I'm not exaggerating. Goddamn chucks Earl Hebner towards Andre and Ted DiBiase and Virgil, and not a single person catches him. He just
man,
straight to the ground.
I wrote down, I think he might have just murdered Earl Hebner because like he threw the shit out of that man.
Yeah.
No man's ever been thrown like Earl Hebner got thrown
in
this situation.
Yeah. So and then of course we get one of the most famous Hulk Hogan promos of all time. Strike Force is in the ring, but no one can care about that right now. We got to go backstage, and Hulk Hogan is yelling at Mean Gene, just going, how'd they do it, brother? How much was the plastic surgery? Who'd they find?
He's stuck on this plastic surgery, bro.
Yeah.
They don't look the same.
Well, and Occam's razor does not exist to Hulk Hogan. The simplest explanation that they're just 2 dudes that look kind of the same.
Yeah, is related.
He doesn't understand. For somebody who calls everyone brother, the idea of a brother confuses him.
This is an abstract thing. So you mean like a general person, like a friend or a dude?
Yeah, like
no, brother actually means something. No, it doesn't.
He's a brother. He's a brother. This is a brother. Who are these 2 dudes? There had to,
who are these 2 brothers?
Yeah, they're brothers. No, I know they're brothers. It's a who's on. It's a who's on first situation.
I know they're brothers, brother. But why do they look the same, brother?
I'm familiar with the concept of sisters. Obviously, I'm not an idiot, but so
I love twins.
Yeah, so he's out of his mind. And he's just like, well, my shoulder was up. What's going to happen? Who could have foreseen this this turn of events? This, unfortunately, is the closest Ted DiBiase ever gets to the WWF title. He wrestles a couple house shows where he has the belt, but he is never officially the WWF champion. He never wins the belt. But
do you think that's a slight? Do you think he should have been champion?
It's a babyface territory. Yeah, that's true. So, and they're not going to take the belt off Hogan to put it on to DiBiase DiBiase is the heel that you want to see vanquished every time. Ted drew a lot of money, probably millions of dollars, literally, but I don't think that it wouldn't have fit, in the 80s. So, the reason they do this is because they don't want Hogan to beat Andre again. Andre can't work a full schedule because his back's all fucked up. And but they need to get the belt off of Hogan because he has to go make No Holds Barred, the movie, which is a movie that
thank God.
Yeah, a movie we will one day cover on this podcast because it's awful. One of the truly and entirely fueled by cocaine as well. So they use this as a means to vacate the title. Jack Tunney's like, you can't sell the WWF Championship. That's horse shit. I will not stand for this. I do not accept.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I do not. What do you mean you tried to accept a plane as a gift, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase? You can't do that. So, the foreign government of Andre the Giant cannot gift you the WWF title. So this is how they get to the tournament of WrestleMania 4, which we had briefly covered before. Stinks.
Yeah.
One of the worst things ever. Hogan and Andre are in the tournament, but the match is a huge nothing burger. The match is 5 minutes, 56 seconds, and it ends in a double disqualification. So I did not feel that it was necessary for us to watch that match.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. While I am mostly a completist, I felt it was unnecessary to have to watch that match in this context.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah. So Randy Savage wins that tournament. He goes on a house show tour with $1 Million Man. He wrestles Andre as well. Andre doesn't like the Macho Man, so he bullies him in the ring. And like pulls his hair and like beats him up and shit because apparently Macho Man used too much baby oil, and Andre didn't like that.
Whoa, whoa,
yeah. That in the book that I read where they cover this in that chapter, it was like, do you imagine how hard it would be for Andre the Giant to get baby oil off of him? Like, he can't shower in a hotel shower like a regular person. He's like, it's very difficult for him to do normal things. So
he only wrestles in cities with lakes.
Yeah, or like he used to shit on the bed in the hotel and just like cover it with the sheets because he couldn't go to the bathroom in the regular bathroom. It's not big enough for him.
You figure something out other than doing it in the bed. You know
or
what I mean?
he would shit in the bathtub apparently too. I don't know.
Just get a trash bag, you weirdo. Like,
yeah,
you've only got two options. The bathtub's a better option than the bed.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate.
He probably can't. Trash bag's tough because he can't reach behind him.
Yeah, and you gotta getting in that squat position tough for Andre. His back's messed up.
We got zoomies happening.
He's moving. He's mocking Andre the Giant, who can't move.
Yeah,
by doing.
He's like, I'm so mobile.
Yeah, I couldn't move more. So then we
turned around and yelled at him to see if he would jump, and he didn't move an inch.
He doesn't give a shit about you, dude.
No.
You think you can get in his head? Not a chance.
No, I'm in his apartment.
Right now. So then we go to a match that's interesting. I decided instead of WrestleMania 4, we'd watch this one. WrestleFest 1988. Also the name of the WWF arcade game that was pretty dope. WrestleFest. Yeah, WrestleFest is a good name. Okay. This is,
it is a good name.
July 31st, 1988. We're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for a steel cage match between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. This is a non-title match. It's the main event, but I know that you have a problem with the 15-foot high steel cage.
Do I really? No, I don't think I have a problem with the cage. Did I?
You have a problem with it being billed as a 15-foot high steel cage.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, am I to believe that this thing is 15 feet tall? It is not 15 feet.
You're gonna stand there owning a fireworks stand.
I'm going to somebody's house for July 4th, and they text me and they're like, "I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you, but I'm not buying fireworks. We're just gonna hang out." So I sent them that whole thing in like 3 installments.
Yeah. I mean,
they kept responding to it, and I kept sending them the next paragraph from the line.
It's a perfect joke every year. You can use it.
100%.
So I was like, okay, it's a cage match. This kind of works because Andre can try to go through the door. He's most certainly not going to try to climb the steel cage in this match. Also, the steel cage barely taller than Andre. Like he's almost as big. He's almost as tall as this steel cage. There's no way it's 15 feet high.
It's certainly not 15 feet.
No.
There's no there. It's one of the big we talk about. Well, that is one of the biggest lies that Vince McMahon ever told, and that's that's saying something.
That's a big lie, yeah. But on commentary, one of the funniest things I found in this match, watching it, is we have Lord Alfred Hayes, who's the British guy, Superstar Billy Graham, and Sean Mooney. And at one point, Lord Alfred Hayes is like, "Hey, Sean Mooney, what are the rules to this match? Let's lay the rules out." And he's like, "Oh, to win, you have to climb over the cage." And then there's a long pause, and Lord Alfred Hayes is like, "Couldn't you go through the door also?" And Sean Mooney's like, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you could go through the door, I guess.
If you're a pussy,
if you're a coward, a goddamn treasonous coward."
Well, the thing is, if you are being told that you have to go over the cage to win this match, and they don't make that distinction that you can also go through the door, then everybody watching is going to know that there's no fucking way that Andre the Giant is going to win this match.
Yeah.
Andre can't get out of bed. You think he's going to climb the blue cage?
Yeah.
And like going up's the easy part for Andre.
Sure.
Getting over the top and getting down from that and going up is hard.
There's no way he can lift his leg to get over this thing.
He is not getting over that cage.
This is, again, like, he just chokes Hulk Hogan. He chokes him with his shirt. He chokes him with the singlet. He just chokes him, and then he chops him. He varies the offense from the choke to the chop, essentially.
He's choking and he's chopping.
and he's flipping and he's flopping. Bobby Heenan is out here, and he's also in his wrestling gear, which is a tiny singlet, a Bobby Heenan-sized singlet, which I think is very funny. Like, he has the same outfit that Andre has, just appropriate for his size.
Yeah, I was wondering why. When Bobby came out in a singlet, I was like, okay, so Bobby's throwing a punch or two in this match.
Earlier in the evening, he was in a loser wears a weasel suit match with the Ultimate Warrior. So,
loser wears a weasel suit. Let me guess who won that match.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm guessing it was the Ultimate Warrior that won that match.
You want to put a guess as to the amount of time this match was?
Oh man, I bet they went. I bet they went time limit 45 minutes.
60 minutes in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah,
for 4 minutes 59 seconds for the old weasel suit.
I got to see a picture of him in the weasel suit.
Jake the Snake and Rick Rude went to a double countout in 15 minutes and 44 seconds. That's rough. I bet. That stinks.
Yeah, that definitely stunk.
Yeah.
Is the weasel suit just? There's no head to this weasel suit?
No, he's the weasel, you see. It's like one of those shirts when you were a kid where it had like the outfit of a cowboy, but then the head was your head. You ever had one of those?
There's dolls of him in the weasel suit. Look at all this.
Yeah, well, I mean, weasel suit was like a huge part of his
oh, well, sick. That's cool.
One of his gimmicks. Yeah. Oh, he looks so sad right there.
He's so bummed out. But look at this.
I mean, it's
toys of him in the weasel
suit.
Suit.
That's terrific. He's there's a documentary where he's talking about having to do that match with the Ultimate Warrior, and he's like, Warrior never got it. He's like, he never got the art of the weasel suit match. He's like an old vaudeville comedian talking about how this guy just can't get the beauty and the subtlety of the weasel suit.
It's very funny.
It's
very funny.
Bobby Heenan does get involved in this match. Takes the only good bump in this match, where he gets punched by Hogan and he flies across the ring to sell it.
Oh yeah, it was a really really good bump.
Yeah, and then he gets thrown into the cage, takes a good bump off of that. Andre the Giant attempts. Maybe I put that lightly. It's in quotes. He attempts to climb the cage. And
he threatens to attempt to climb the cage.
he's thinking about climbing the cage.
Yeah.
And I was just, that scene in The Godfather where who is it, when Robert Duvall dies and the Godfather's like, look what they did to my boy.
They massacred my
Look
boy.
at what
No,
they
it was
did to, or is it James
it
Caan?
was James Caan. It
Yeah.
was James Caan.
What they do to my
They massacred my boy.
They massacred my boy. I was the whole time just thinking, look what they've done to Andre. They've massacred my. Don't try to make Andre the Giant climb this cage. There's no dignity for Andre in trying to climb a cage.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know who would have been more hurt, him or the cage, but it's just, it wasn't gonna work.
No,
and we all knew it wasn't gonna work. And Heenan kept opening the door, and we knew if he was gonna leave out that goddamn door. The door's wide open. He's climbing the cage.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing about. We talked about the Brett versus Owen match in the blue cage.
Yes.
I haven't seen all the blue cage matches. I haven't seen a whole lot of blue cage matches. I doubt there's a better match in the blue cage than Owen versus Brett in that blue cage. And they struggled at sometimes to make it completely believable because there's too many options. You can go out there. You can go over in 360 degrees. You can go over the cage, and then there's a door. But like every time there was a chance, one of them was diving at that door, trying to get into the door. And this door is wide open, and this fucking giant French dumbass is like, I'm gonna climb it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
He should have walked right through the door. Walk right through the door.
Yep. Yeah.
So Andre tries to climb the cage. That's not happening. He falls, ties himself up in the ropes. Classic Andre situation he finds himself. I just imagine he's always like, how did this happen again?
Yeah, God damn it, I'm in the ropes again.
Bobby, I swear I woke up and I was on the ropes again.
Fucking God. I'm just the rope guy now, apparently.
And Hogan climbs over the cage and wins. Doesn't matter. They sold that bitch out. Milwaukee.
Hey, once again, the door
right there
is fucking wide open.
Hulk Hogan can't walk through the door. He has to climb over. He has.
And it was just driving. At least somebody should have shut the door. If they know Hogan's going over the door, somebody should have. I mean, over the top. The door is right next to where he went over that wall.
He wants to
just go out the door.
He's doing things the hard way, dude.
Yeah, for the little Hulkamaniacs. I understand, but shut the door.
25,866 people at WrestleFest 88. So, they did all right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then finally, our last bit of things on this feud is Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage as the Mega Powers, who have teamed up starting in the fall of 1987 through 1988, are main eventing the first SummerSlam, the inaugural SummerSlam, versus the Mega Bucks, which is a pretty good name, of Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase. And they obviously teamed Andre up with Ted so that Ted can take all the bumps and Andre can look menacing in the background or on the apron.
Yeah, it was very much you remember when Dynamite Kid almost murdered Mick Foley?
Yes.
It was very much that match. Like there's just one guy in the ring almost the entire time.
Yeah. There's a weird promo to set this up where they're trying to sell you on SummerSlam, and Hogan and Macho Man are talking about the kids in the playground and how there are kids in trouble for emulating the Mega Bucks and like pushing kids down and all this. And they're gonna stand up
and charging them wild interest on personal loans.
Yes, irresponsibly promoting payday loans for the kids in the playground. You can have this milk, but you're not gonna like the interest rate on this milk.
Listen, but you can have it now if you want.
Yeah,
I know you want.
And then the Mega Bucks are like, hell yeah, predatory lending. Just wait until the recession of 2008. That's because of us. We're gonna build a system where kids think that subprime loans are fine, and don't worry about that balloon payment.
We should be called the Mega Bubble, huh?
The
You'll get that in about 20 years.
Yeah, this isn't for you, but your kids are gonna love it.
Yeah.
So they have Jesse the Body Ventura as the special referee to call it down the middle, and for some reason that is never explained, Jesse changes the tag ropes, the corners of the tag ropes at the beginning of this match, just I guess to exert some sort of arbitrary power that he now has.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. So, and this, like, unfortunately, Savage and DiBiase can work their ass off. Hogan is over his shit. This match is not very good. It's all sizzle, baby. The Like,
It stinks.
the Mega Powers are over as hell. Ted DiBiase takes the one good bump in this match where he gets his neck snapped on the top rope and he flies back and does a flip.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That's worth a star.
Pretty cool.
For
Yeah, I like
for
it.
this one. The end of this match has always baffled me. So the Mega Bucks have beat down the Mega Powers and they're throwing them on the floor. The Mega Powers are out of energy. The bar's in the red, apparently.
Yep.
Miss Elizabeth jumps up on the apron and she's like, they're like, she's on the apron. She's never on the apron. That's crazy. And then
she should be wearing an apron, Monsoon. I forgot he was in the ring.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't think that superstar Billy Graham wouldn't say that. I think it's possible that he wouldn't.
That's fair. That's fair.
And Ventura's telling her to get down, and then she's wearing this, like, I don't know. It's like, I mean, she's got a top and a skirt on, and then she suddenly whips the skirt off, and she's wearing, like, bikini, or not bikini, but like swimming bottoms, essentially.
They're basically like bikini bottoms, yeah.
Right. These, you'd think that the $1 Million Man, Andre the Giant, and Jesse Ventura had never seen a woman with that much leg exposed in their life. They're frozen.
Listen, you didn't get to see it very often back then.
That's true.
Truly. Like,
yeah.
Like, maybe, I mean, probably Ted DiBiase, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it's like if you wanted adult films, you had to go to the woods, right? It's like,
sure.
So,
but she looks like a cheerleader. It's not. I mean, I'm not saying that it's,
once again, man, like, walk her through the 40s and see what happens. See if there's any meat left on that bone by the time they walk through.
Sure.
It's like a freaking bunch of piranhas to tear to pieces. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's the Simpsons All for Silas situation where
exactly, like put her in the middle of a prison.
Yeah.
see if they're hooping and hollering as she walks by all the cells.
So
fucking rabid dogs, my dude.
Yeah, luckily this distraction allows the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan to repower, and they do the handshake of ultimate power on the floor and come back, and they knock.
Nothing is more strong than boner power, man.
No. This is, I mean, Hulkamania turns him on. He's clearly.
I am rock hard, Hulkster.
They said due to the amount of steroids I did that would never happen again. But let me tell you, brother. So they knock.
I'm on so many estrogen blockers. I'm gonna poke a hole through the front of my pants.
Dude, I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna poke a hole through the firmament, which would have been very. So.
Don't get on my front side, I'll make you bleed.
It's Hogan knocks Andre out of the ring. They beat up poor Ted DiBiase. They hit him with the elbow, and then they hit him with the big leg and pin Ted DiBiase for the win. Obviously, the Mega Powers are going to win this match. Again, it's not a great match. It's the best match we watched for this entire episode. But again, it doesn't matter. Like, the Andre Hogan WrestleMania 3 match is important in ways that you cannot otherwise quantify. Like, it matters so much to the history of wrestling.
And it just looked cool. Like, that match looked cool because it's in Madison Square Garden. It's back when they just had the light on the... Like, they have, like, yellow lights just on the ring. Like, it looks like a classic boxing match. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
This one, my favorite part about this one are the two instances in which Andre the Giant falls, but he fell in the wrong place of the ring,
Oh,
and he can't get to where he needs to be for the move that somebody wants to do.
yeah.
Like the Hulkster was supposed to leg drop Andre, but Andre was too close to him and was facing the wrong way. His head was on the wrong side, so the Hulkster, because he knows for
Turn
this
me.
particular,
God damn it.
yeah, turn me over. I'm fucked. I'm so sorry. But because one of them, he knew he was going to be thwarted by the $1 Million Man.
Yeah.
So he hits the ropes and then like still, and then he goes on the other side and leg drops Andre, not the direction he normally leg drops somebody, and then freaking Macho Man gets up on the ropes at one point, and Andre is laying in the wrong part of the ring, and Hulk's like, wait, brother, go onto that side. So fucking Macho Man climbs down, runs across the ring, gets on the other corner.
Yeah.
He's just too big and broken to move.
Yeah. It's tough. Again, this is the why they gave him Ted DiBiase, and I think like as a good pairing. I enjoyed the two of them. The big thing about this week's episode is all of the out of the ring stuff I really enjoyed. Like I said, the build up to WrestleMania 3 I think is done masterfully. Like it's a great story, it's easy to understand, it's about petty jealousy. All that stuff is the stuff I love about wrestling. The matches for this one are unimportant as far as in ring quality, because when you think about it, okay, so they need the biggest match they could possibly get for WrestleMania 3. They do Hogan versus Andre. They want to launch the Survivor Series. So they do in the main event Team Hogan versus Team Andre. When they want to do the main event, which by the way did 33 million people watched on NBC. Well, like,
God damn.
Yeah, one of the biggest Nielsen ratings ever, the biggest audience for pro wrestling on network TV in history, like that, and that number will never be beat. Like,
no, there's no way it'll be beat.
Yeah, they do Hogan versus Andre when they want to sell WrestleMania 4 and the tournament. Hogan versus Andre. They want to launch,
and the crowd was lit for every single one of these. The matches sucked, but the crowd was losing their mind the entire time.
And then they want to launch the inaugural SummerSlam, Hogan versus Andre. Like the wealth of the WWF in the 80s, as far as the expansion goes and as far as becoming the national power, is built on the back of this Hogan versus Andre feud. Like there's all this other stuff, but there's no there's great wrestlers and there's great personalities and there's all these other things in the undercard. But when you're talking about the main event, there's nothing that they could have done that was bigger than Hogan versus Andre, and they ran it back, 5 times. Yeah. and each time it was successful. So,
and I know I've driven this into the ground, but it should be said again after you say that Andre couldn't move or talk. And still,
yeah. I mean,
this worked 5 times.
Yeah, and again, there's no great real work rate stuff to look at underneath this. To like, oh man, the main events were stank in the ring, but like they had whatever else underneath. Like, Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage is an incredible match that's on WrestleMania 3. And maybe some people went to WrestleMania 3 to see that match. But the majority of those people were in there to see if Hulk Hogan can body slam Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
That's, and so you had this cresting wave of everything. Hogan's as over as anybody's ever been in wrestling. He's a superhero. He's got everybody. You've got a giant monster in Andre who's believable in spite of, like you said, the fact that he cannot move at all. And it was just a perfect mix of those two things. So coming out of this, Andre moves on to a feud with Jake the Snake.
It's just fucking. And listen, I was gonna say, and I just stopped myself. I was gonna say it's unbelievable that he's still wrestling. he's still drawing money.
Yeah.
So like, why wouldn't I guess? I mean, why wouldn't you? Except for after like humanity, as you're probably fucking killing this guy.
Right.
But like, I understand why, Vince might have wanted to continue paying him to wrestle.
Well, and he doesn't know how to. I don't know that Andre really knows how to do anything else, and is probably also addicted to. I mean, he's been doing this his whole life.
Yeah, and I mean, when you stop doing what you do, it's easy for people to think their life is over, and like, especially as a guy who can't move or talk, it's hard to get a new hobby, So,
right.
It's
yeah, and he had a ranch, and
his identity was Andre the Giant.
Yeah, well, and he's making, like you said, he's making the most money he's ever made, and he's got a pretty easy schedule. Like he's not on the road all the time, but he does have some additional feuds. He feuds with Jake the Snake for a while. That gets him into WrestleMania 5. He retires as an active competitor in 1990. I believe we watched his match from WrestleMania 6, which is very difficult to watch. Like he literally can't move.
Did he beat Jake the Snake in the feud?
He beat him up a lot. There were a lot of DQs and countouts because Andre was quote unquote afraid of Jake the Snake's pet snake.
Snake. Oh, I forgot about that. That he was terrified of the snake.
Scared of the snake. So
King of the Snakes.
He wrestles Duggan a lot. He's in a lot of tag matches and stuff, but at WrestleMania 6, him and Haku lose the tag team titles to Demolition in a match where I think Andre is in it for less than a minute, probably. Andre also has a big feud with the Ultimate Warrior, where the Ultimate Warrior keeps beating him in like 10 seconds by knocking him out of the ring. But we can talk about that when we get to the Ultimate Warrior.
They had that Demolition versus a Colossal Connection match. It was the third match on WrestleMania 6. So it's like, how much money is even Andre drawing you still? I guess he's like, people will pay a ticket to see Andre the Giant in person. Like, it's a name, but like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I do remember that being completely like super sad.
Yeah, it's rough. So, and then Hogan, after their feud, moves into doing more tag team stuff with Macho Man, where they wrestle Akeem and the Big Boss Man. We saw the match where Akeem falls through the ropes. Very funny. Whatever.
Hell yeah.
And then, of course, the build up to WrestleMania 5, where the Mega Powers explode. One of the biggest, they were able to kind of go from strength to strength on all of these things. Like, they were able to move off of Hogan and Andre right to Hogan versus Savage, which was also gigantic.
It's another flaming hot cool ranch. It's like, oh, we got these two fucking things.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody loves both of these things. We can put them together whenever. We've got the biggest program in the world in our pocket.
Yeah. So yeah, I think in the end, I mean, obviously Hogan, but Andre deserves a ton of credit for being a guy that they're able to use again to launch into the stratosphere. And they've got, unfortunately, the NWA doesn't have a guy like Andre the Giant, like a guy that's as big and as well known and is a spectacle in the same way. Because think about, we didn't watch the WrestleMania 4 match, but you can kind of, in your mind's eye, you can see it. The NWA is putting on Flair versus Sting, the match we watched a couple weeks ago, versus Hogan versus Andre. And as a wrestling fan, which one of those matches do you want to watch as far as in-ring action? Obviously, it's Clash of the Champions. But Hogan and Andre are selling out buildings left and right.
It's like as a wrestling fan, who would you rather watch? Okay, conversely, as an American citizen, which one would you rather watch?
Right.
Like just a normal person. It's like, oh, I want to see that big fucker versus that big fucker.
Yeah. It's why heavyweights are always an attraction in the UFC, and why
and Heavyweights is the best Disney movie.
And Heavyweights is that's you know what? Nothing could be truer than that. So, having never seen this, what do you think? I know we talked a lot about it, but what was your big takeaway?
Well, I had seen the WrestleMania 3 match, but I hadn't seen the rest of it. It was a classic wrestling feud. Like, if you teach wrestling booking in some school, this is one of the things you'd probably lead with. The super hot baby face that everybody believes in, and you put him against the biggest guy and make the biggest guy a chicken shit jerk, who just wants to kill him. It's great, and the Hulk's overacting notwithstanding, like the drama of you betrayed me. I thought we were cool. Is a really good like vehicle.
Yeah,
You
can always use "I thought we were cool."
Yeah,
yeah,
it's very strong. So like, I thought it was good. The matches were ass. Andre couldn't talk. Andre kind of like I really do think Andre mailed in a lot of like even his promo stuff on this. He just kind of skated by on the fact that he was Andre the Giant. He's probably super drugged up because his back hurt so bad or something,
and drunk, like it's well known,
and drunk,
crazy
yeah.
drunk. So
yeah, but this is a classic feud for a reason, and it deserves the accolades that it has. So yeah, I'm glad I watched it.
All right.
For sure.
I want you to give me a number between 1 and 101.
You know which one I haven't done yet?
Which one?
69.
Hell
dude.
yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, bro.
All right. Oh, you know what? I put a great match here. Proud of myself. Next week, we are going to watch number 69 on the 101 matches to watch. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 21.
Oh shit, I'm fucking into that.
Yeah,
I am into that. Kurt's one of my favorites, man. He's on the short list. Like he's one of my favorite like personalities and in-ring guys. So I'm excited for this. The amount of pills that those two men took.
Oh yeah, but between the two of them, that might be the most.
Yeah. Could have killed Andre.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is the Soma champion of the world. So that,
and he's wrestling Perk Angle.
Yeah,
so
this is pre-Perk Angle at his height. But this is an incredible match.
Yeah, because that was like TNA, right?
Yeah, that was in TNA. So I'm excited for you to get to watch this one. Thank you to everybody who listens. Like Andrew said, we're on almost every social you can think of. Go ahead and find us there and follow us and give us your feedback. Let us know if there's something you want us to cover. I appreciate that. Thank you to everybody who listens. And will you be back next week to watch and listen to the start marks? Yes!
Yes!